let's start. Um, you know, I decided to add one more stream during a week, and I thought for a long time about what format to choose for the second stream, and I decided to add one more stream, training stream. Monday will be my usual playing stream, and on Thursdays I will try to go live and to organize training streams. Thank you very much. So what will be done during this stream, during this training stream? I choose positions. By the way, some of them will be taken from here, from the chess, and we will analyze, we will calculate, and I will show how I analyze, how I calculate, what I pay attention to, how I organize this process. And of course, you can chat, you can write your thoughts, your ideas. Maybe I can miss some interesting ideas, and it would be very interesting to read about your thoughts. And I will be very happy to connect with you in the chat too. So, okay, let's learn together, let's improve our chess skills, and just to go forward in chess. Let's start. Have I accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord? If I understand you correctly, yes. The answer is yes. Okay, let's start. So, if you see the first position, I've chosen. Just a second, please. The first position. Here is black's turn, and black played queen c6. They checked the white king, and now white needs to decide what to do here, how to protect their king from this check. I use, generally, I use in such situations the method of elimination. I don't know if you heard about that method, the method of elimination. For example, here white has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variations how to protect their king. And the method of elimination helps to find the right move, the right continuation. For example, queen c6. Let's at first analyze which move. f3. Let's close. Let's protect our king with this pawn. It's clear, of course. Yes, I saw that at first you wrote that mate in one move, but here is, you see that it was black's turn. Of course, white wants to checkmate from g7. They want to attack the black's king, and they just needed to protect their king. So f3, it's clear that we can find this variation very easy, very quickly. It's clear that black needs to protect their king, and it would be better to protect with the queen, because during that protection they also can offer the queen straight. For example, if they try to protect their king with the rook, for example rook g8, white can continue rook b8 to try to distract the black's rook, then to checkmate from g7. So it's better for black just to check from c2. White goes, for example, if king h3, black can play queen g6, but I think queen f5 much more better, because now white is forced to take, I mean to trade the queens. After queen g6, maybe they can, maybe also they have to take on g6, because if they take on d4, of course they will lose their knight. If they go to h4 again, to have a passive queen, it's not better for white. So that's why maybe queen g6 and queen f5, maybe there is not so much difference between these two moves. Just to trade the queens, and we can calculate, and we see that black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns against 4 white pawns. So black has 2 extra pawns, and of course it's enough to have a better position, to have a winning position. So we analyze this move. f3 doesn't work for white. Black just can check and to protect their king. Block with rook, so there are no more checks. Now let's analyze that move, rook f3. After rook f3, white doesn't want to be pinned. Just then how to move their rook? Black just can play rook g8 to protect on g7. We needed this rook to be on b3, then to play rook b8 to distract the black's rook, and then to checkmate from g7. So that's why, again, rook f3 doesn't work. White just wants their rook to be on b3. They can use it to go to b8. In some variations, they can put their rook to b7 and to work on this 7th row. That's why. So f3 doesn't work. Rook f3 also, it's not a good continuation for white. It's left king g1, king f1, and king h3. I think king g1 and king f1 is the same. Again, black can just check from c1. There is no difference, king f1 or g1. White has to go back, and again, the queen straight, queen g5. If white takes on d4, queen h5, queen a4, they can centralize their queen to play queen d5 with check. And then maybe after king g1, maybe to leave this pawn under attack, just to play rook c8. Also, they want to checkmate from the first row. Of course, white needs to protect, maybe to go to b1. And just then maybe a5 to protect this pawn and to continue this position with an extra pawn. Of course, black's position is much more better. So we eliminated that two moves too. Just a second, please. Here, king g1 and king f1 will not work for white. So it's left only one move, king h3. And now black has no checks from c1 or from c2, if you remember in that position when white played f3, closed from that check. Black has no useful check, so they must understand how to protect from this checkmate threatment. So let's find some variations, protection variations. They have this move, rook g8. Also, they can play g6. They can play g5. And there is no other protection, right? Am I right? Yes, I think these three variations, rook g8, g6, and g5. Rook g8, if you remember when I told that we need our rook to be on b3, just to play then rook b8 to pin, to distract black's rook. If they take, of course, white can take with a checkmate. If they don't take on b8, so how to protect from this checkmate threatment? Just to play g6, and white can take here, right? Yes, queen d4 with a very easy winning position. So let's go back. Rook g8 doesn't work for black. Let's see g6. I want to understand the difference between g6 and g5. Okay, let's at first analyze g6, and then we will calculate g5. After g6, what white must do? Just to take on d4 with a check. There is no danger for this knight. It's check. Here, if black plays f6, at first I thought that we can take knight f6, and then we want to to make a discovery check, to go back to check, and then to checkmate from g7. For example, I want to show that variation. For example, knight h5 and queen g7. Just a second, please. Queen d4, f6. But after knight f6, then I found that black can continue e5 to attack the white's queen, and then they can take on f6. And black will have an extra knight against the pawn. That's why after queen d4 check, f6, here I think white can continue rook b8. Yes, to distract the black's rook. If they take, to take on f6, king g8, and queen g7 with a checkmate. After rook b8, if they play, what to do? To play e5? Okay, white can take, and just to have an extra rook. So it's left which variation? Just a second, please. g6, queen d4. Yes, one more variation. Instead of f6, at first e5. I see some messages here. Just a second, please. Why did you not take the white rook? I answered on this question, block the rook, so there are no more checks. It was on that variation, rook f3, right? Capture rook. Just a second, please. I want to, at first, I just want, she isn't really chat and I feel bad now. Why? Don't feel bad, please, because I just want to show the variations. Then I will wait for your variations, for your continuations. If I, for example, if I show one variation, then I read the messages, I think maybe it will be not correct, not interesting with splitted situations, variations. That's why I decided at first to show all variations, then to read the messages. So don't feel bad, please. If knight f6, yes, e5, yes, you're right. And they can win either a queen or the knight. Okay, so after e5, of course, white needs to take on e5, and just now to play f6, and here white can continue queen e7 to attack the rook and to create a checkmate threatment. If they play rook g8, knight f6, I guess knight f6 will work again to create a checkmate threatment, and of course to attack the black's rook. If they check from c8, so we can just close. Am I right? From g4 to close. And there is no useful check for black. So after queen e5 check, of course, king g8, it will be checkmate. f6, queen e7. And now queen c8 check. And here it's a very important moment. At first I thought that white can continue g4 and there is no useful check for black, but then I realized that no, black can take, just take, and we have no rook on b7 and we have no time to transfer our rook to b7 just to create checkmate threatment, because we will get a checkmate from g4. So that's why after queen c8 check, we just need to go at first back, king g2. Let me calculate one more time. King g2, queen, yes, queen c6, and now, just now, to close, f3, queen c2 check, king h3, queen f5 or queen c8 check, there is no difference. And just now to play g4, because g takes h5, now our pawn is protected, and now we can play rook b7, we can create a checkmate threatment, and this take with a check will not help them. H takes g4, where to go? Maybe h4, king h4. Yes, and there is no protection from this checkmate threatment. If they play queen f5, okay, we can take the rook. If they play, and also from g7, we can checkmate. If they play rook g8, we can checkmate from h7. So I think I showed all variation that we analyzed. I analyzed this position with my student. It was about a week ago. We spent about how many minutes, how much time? About 40 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. We spent about 40 minutes to analyze, full analyze of this position. And we have found that really the right continuation is king h3. And that method, the method of elimination, helped us very much. At first we analyzed f3. We understood that queen c2, queen g6, they will protect their king and to have a better position with two extra pawns. Then we closed. We understood that we need our rook on b3, and you just saw that our rook very often helped us to distract the rook, the black's rook, or to go to b7 to help our queen on the 7th row. Then we eliminated king g1 and king f1, because we found this variation, check, and then queen g5, again the queen straight, and everything is okay in black's position. And then we just understand that king h3 is the best move in this position, is the winning continuation.